Yes.
Everybody thinks it's the butt, right? I mean, everybody I've ever talked to, this is the part people are afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
This is the part of a horse's body that I rarely ever see them use unless you've spooked them. Now, this part of their body, this lovely thing that people like to hug and smooch, this part's the dangerous piece.
Mm-hmm.
This is the piece that runs you over. This is the piece that pushes you through the gate. This is the piece that stomps on your feet when you're in the wrong place. It's amazing how well placed a horse's front foot is to a 4-H kid's feet. Yeah. I mean, what I've seen the most of. Because your foot's in it. Yeah. Right?
Right.
That's the first lesson in life, right? It's this part. That's one of the first things I told the flirt. Move this away from me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll play with that, but move this away from me. So, long story short. Yes, we moved this piece real early in life. But it will be neat to do it differently. Okay, belly button. Just like I explained, I want you to imagine you got a belly button ring in, and it's tied to this piece of the halter right here.
Okay.
Okay? And you're walking right under that body part.
Okay.
Okay? This keeps you in the correct position and timing. Again, it's rhythm, air, them harder. Now, I don't really, other than across the nose, I can't say as I know much more of an enforce. You know, ask is air, insist is on them, demand is on them harder. There's two forms of enforce depending upon what body part. If they're walking forward, it's over the knot here. That would be enforce. If it's the shoulder shoving into you, then it would be the elbow with the butt of the stick. Okay. Now he shows you to have your hands on the lead rope like this.
Mm-hmm.
I find this really difficult for a woman to do.
Okay.
So it's just better to just keep the front hand, okay, and make sure that you've got plenty of lead rope. This is only in your hand for, it's kind of like your seatbelt. You can't get too far away if you got a hold of the lead rope, okay? But you want this so long that it's not doing anything to that halter. Because the only action that would actually happen is towards you if you have it too short. Okay? So it's better to be longer on this than shorter. And this is just basically your seatbelt. It keeps you in position,
Okay.
especially if you make sure that the part towards the shoulder is shorter than the part to his nose.
Okay.
You'd be amazed how much better timing you have and better position you have if you make sure that this part is the short part, not the head part. Okay? Again, rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Good. All I want him to do is take the closest front leg across the furthest front leg. Remember, you have to rub them to a stop. You don't pull them to a stop. Rub them to a stop. Something I see people miss a lot is rubbing the face with the stick in their hand. Most people do this. And they put the stick down. Leave the stick in your hand and rub their face. Let that stick move and rub their face so that they don't get worried about the stick moving in front of their face. Passive and active body language, right? I'm going to get active again. And if I'm always thinking about that cord from my belly button to their throat latch, I can rub him to a stop really easily. Okay? Well, that time we got 2 steps. what I did was block him by using more stick on his head, towards his face. But that's only possible if I stay underneath his throat level. Okay? If I drift to his shoulder or out in front of him, I lose position. I don't have the right timing. There we go. I'll do it one more time on this side and then I'll switch sides, okay? Rub, 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 rub to the stop, rub to the stop. All right. Let's go the other way.
And so you, excuse me, you actually need to change the drape of your lead rope.
Yes, or otherwise the lead rope is
Yeah.
it drags on their nose rope. Again, I'll get my little imaginary umbilical cord hooked up. Belly button. Throat latch. Okay, so the stick should also be at the angle of the neck, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if that was talked about. I don't want it to look like this.
He didn't really say much about the angle, but I think that's how he was holding.
Yeah.
It's just something to think about. You want your front hand to be higher than your back hand, so that your back hand is almost pointed towards their elbow if you need it. And see, that puts the stick in a position that is always across the nose. Okay? So again, belly button, I'm stepping right here. I'm actually stepping as if I was going to step on his front foot if it were to step forward. Okay? Ask. Yep. Says I'm out of here.
I'm going in the trailer.
My shoulders next.
I'll be waiting in the trailer.
And again. His shoulder's not moving, so I'm just waiting. Tap that shoulder. There. So you notice that his head went, but his shoulders weren't going. So I just waited for his shoulders, and then I put the insist pressure on the shoulder itself because that was the body part that wasn't going anywhere.
Okay.
Again, ask. No shoulder, no shoulder. Tap the shoulder, tap the shoulder. Okay. So insist for McClintock's not really a huge pressure. You know, he's kind of a soft touch.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. To say the least.
And again, ask.
Sorry, Sal.
There we go. That time he didn't take near as much insist. His shoulder went with his head.
It's all just a little bit different than what we've done so far.
Well, there is so much space and adjustment with this particular exercise. It's essential that it's right here in this place. But I like to cut people a husk and not teach it until after I've taught the sitting exercise. But anyway, it's a good exercise to get acquainted with the right hand. And it makes other things turn out really good. Ask. Okay, so I didn't go to any higher pressure because he was sorting it out. Okay? No need for higher pressure. If you can see them thinking about it, that's about the feel and timing of it. And again, ask. There we go.
It strikes me that with this exercise, you're starting to get into a little more of using your own judgment, feel and timing, where with some of the other exercises, it's kind of execution of the move.
Yes. Yes.
But this one, you gotta start thinking more.
Well, and it's essential at this point to start realizing where your space is, where that respect level is, and to really start getting a grasp on feel. You know, because you can feel whether they're coming into you with their shoulders or they're moving away. And it's this particular exercise you can play with a lot longer than you do the hind quarter one, because it takes so much more to master, to really fine tune it. And it's something your horse needs an awful lot of practice at, because they've been practicing all their lives running you over with it.
Right.
So this is the one kind of what he would call foundation exercise that I encourage people to play with a lot more than just the 3 days. Now this is the one exercise I find most people will do one day, because it's frustrating, and then they quit doing it. But it's the one exercise you could do for 10 days and really finally get to what feel is.
He says at the end of that tape that it's the 3 foundations are backing up, moving the hindquarters, and moving the forequarter.
Right. Yep.
Okay.